ancestor crap. So what if we met a few ghosts in the dream bubbles? What does that prove? A whole lot of nothing that anyone gives a half a flying nook stain about is what?
Archie, watch your language.
Look, I used my time palace to bring us back into the past to see what these ancestors Karkat doesn't believe in were truly like. I brought us back, myself, Sollux, Nepeta, and Kanaya, to see if the legends of our ancestors are supposedly true.
Well, it sounds like a dumb story for regulars, if you ask me. I mean, seriously, some J-blood troll, supposedly Kanaya's ancestor, takes a mutant wriggler from the caves because she feels some sort of, I don't know, platonic parental pity for it, and takes on the role of a Lussus hiding out somewhere. And then for whatever reason, after he pupates, he has this strange prophetic vision that he claims could revolutionize the world, or some other ridiculous pile of bullcrap, which is completely idiotic, considering that Gamzee has plenty of prophetic visions, and have absolutely everything to do with him laying on his ass, fondling his shame globes, while blowing snot bubbles from his tear ducts. What a moron. But I guess it wasn't quite that stupid, because a lot of these other ancestors joined up with him when they heard about it, including Sollux's. And then, well, then he met Nepeta's ancestor, and from what I hear, they became mate sprits. There's a whole bunch of vague grub feces about how they had a love that transcended all 4 quadrants that I really don't buy. That's the kind of think pan-rusting, sugar-coated garbage that you find in fairy tales. It's absolutely unrealistic. Can you believe that they used to teach that nonsense to people? I mean, come on.
Well, Karkat, I must disagree and remind you that the Altarian blood caste system of their time was much more rigid and oppressive than ours of our own time. As a matter of fact, I do believe some of those morons, to use your coarse vernacular, are standing over there. Perhaps we should watch them and see what actually happens. Look, I brought us back to this day for a very specific reason. Today holds a very important event, but I am a man of time, not a seer of time. I can't tell you exactly what happens.
And if anyone wants to get rocked, I'll be ready.
I thought it was anything special. Well, why don't we wait and see? Well, I brought you some of this. I made a little bit of insurance to make sure that our modern clothes don't actually affect the timeline in any way. I suggest putting them on.
Well, I suppose it's all right.
That makes them on.
Wait, isn't time travel dangerous as all hell? Great, another chance to screw up the timeline for everybody.
Look, if things get too hot to handle, I'll get us out of here. Sorry, KK, but I've got faith in AA. Let's just sit and watch, okay?
Fine. Enough.
Even if you think that it's gonna be really...
Fine. Enough stirring of the metaphorical fecal matter. I'll sit through this event you all so desperately seem to want me to witness.
Evelyn, I implore you to reconsider. So many trolls are here.
Isn't it wonderful? This is the largest gathering we've had.
It is, and I'm happy for you, but this is dangerous. You could get hurt.
That's nonsense, Sai. Nobody's going to get hurt. After all, this is our big chance. The finest time to get the word out is right now, and I can't pass this sort of thing up.
Yes, and the things you have to say are very important. They were enough to make a psionic like me leave the training ground, leave behind everything I had. But you do understand that if it is so important, because the things you say are true, that you have to save yourself.
No, Sai, if we abandon now, what will happen next time? The time after that? If we abandon sermon after sermon, the word will not spread. It will falter, fade, and completely disappear. And that won't change a thing.
Well, I do still think it's dangerous, but I understand.
You know I believe in you. I mean, just remember what Psionic has to say, though. He's only concerned for our safety.
I know, but he's such a pessimist. It makes me feel as though something is going to go horribly wrong.
Just because he says so? You're fine. No matter what happens, I'll follow you into the inn.
Thank you, darling. Mama, I think it's time for us to start.
Good evening, and welcome. I'm the Dolorosa, and I'm the caregiver to this fine young troll here. Before we begin, I would like to commend you all on your bravery for attending today. You all know the dangers posed to you, and yet you chose to attend anyway. That takes a lot of guts. The reason that we're holding this panel is for equality. My son can lead you to it. I promise, he will lead you to a new chance of life. Not as a blood color, but as a troll. All you have to do is listen. Thank you.
All of you here are aware of the Alternia that we live in today. The harsh blood castes completely diminish the idea of a safe, secure lifestyle for many low-blooded trolls. There is oppression, the despicable buying and selling of trolls to be enslaved by the Highbloods, to work under harsh conditions until they have no breath left in their lungs. Those forced to work into slavery are brutally ripped away from their luci, shoved into stressful working conditions until they're incapable of performing simple tasks. In some cases, a young low-blooded troll will be found incapable of working, and immediately afterward, culled. A proper, safe, cultivated life exists only for those very few in the highest castes. This is the suffering that occurs daily in Alternia. This is the suffering that I was blind to. It wasn't until I met some of the trolls standing with me here today that I realized what kind of harsh, oppressive society we live in. The discrimination that I learned of in the blood caste brought deep sadness into my heart. Not long after this, I began to dream. In these dreams, I interacted with an Alternia that was much different from the one where we currently reside. The trolls, regardless of blood color, were caring and loving and always giving and helping each other and living in harmony. It was a completely spectrum-blind society. Trolls of a high caste were able to have a matesfriendship or a moralliance with one of a lower caste without anyone coming between them to call them the way we know of calling. I had seen in these dreams, these visions, a kind of acceptance that I want to elicit in the trolls of Alternia. So I began to speak of the dreams I had as I speak to you right now. If everyone here worked together to discover acceptance within ourselves and love of other trolls, I firmly believe that we can change this society and put an end to discrimination, and perhaps the blood caste system itself. Does anyone have any questions so far? Yes?
You've got to be kidding me, right? You can't possibly believe that there's an Alternia where everyone lives in harmony. Some happy-go-lucky land where there are no rejected blood colors. Don't you think that there are some mutated blood colors that don't even deserve to be added to the mix?
Well, I believe no blood color deserves to be on or off the hemospectrum. In fact, I don't believe the hemospectrum should exist at all. If anything, mutated blood is simply more unique.
What the heck?
Did you have anything else to ask?
No.
Any other questions? Yes?
I have a question for the Party Cat Lady book. Yes? I don't mean to intrude, but what's in that book you've been writing? Oh, well, this is the Signless's writings. I write them down, his dreams, that is. It's my duty because I'm his disciple, so that's what I do. Aw, you must be really flustered, huh? Well, yes. Also, no. We don't really like to say we fit into a quadrant, because sometimes I'm really red for him, but other times we're really black. I know a lot too, but we don't really like to define it. Kind of different. That's so perfect. I only hope that I can have a relationship with another troll like that.
All right, any others? Yes?
My question is for the one called the Psiioniic.
Yes?
Why are you here if you supposedly left what you said was your duty?
Well, while that may have been my duty, I have found a much greater responsibility. With all of these trolls, SN has taught me that there's so much more. That there's just so much more to life than living in servitude, and I think that maybe that being here with Signless, Dolorosa, the disciple, is a much greater responsibility for me than anything like being the property of a blue blood or even a helmsman.
But don't you ever think that you're not smart enough, or powerful enough, or brave enough, or important enough?
I actually don't particularly think that I am all that powerful or brave or smart. But what is good enough for them